everybody's raring to get back to doing things in person as vaccinations spread and more people get vaccinated and the COVID numbers come down. Here in California, we have, we're doing kind of better than most states with our vaccine numbers and our infection numbers. So things are getting back to normal-ish, and that's nice for folks who wanted to get the heck out of the house because it's so dang hot. Here's a story in the LA Times. Last gasp of heat wave brings flex alert, red flag warnings, and new records. So we have broken some records for heat. It's not surprising. I mean, to me, it just feels like the summer's just getting started. It's only June. We're definitely going to have lots of warm days to follow. But here in the LA Times, Southern California's coastal areas cooled considerably early Friday. It was better than some of the days earlier this week, that's for sure. But much of the region is still sweltering under a lingering heat wave that is moving into its fifth day. Patchy fog blanketed Los Angeles County, bringing a slight chance of showers before warming during the day to 87 degrees. Parts of the coast cooled with a high of 75 expected in Santa Monica, blah, blah, blah. Humidity levels also remained high. The California Independent System Operator, which monitors power lines across the state, extended its flex alert a second day from 6 to 9 Friday to encourage reduced energy use. Because of the strain on the state's power grid, residents are advised to avoid lowering the thermostat during these hours and to complete tasks involving high amounts of energy beforehand, such as using major appliances and the charging of electric cars. Gavin Newsom signed an emergency proclamation to reduce grid-based power usage by allowing for backup generators and suspending certain permitting requirements. So this is what privatization gets you, folks, is please don't use power at the time when you most need to use the power. Please don't do that. We could all die. People, when we have heat waves this intense, there are all kinds of people who are at risk. Right, the elderly, people who are just susceptible to heat and have certain ailments. Puts an incredible amount of stress on them. And if we have these rolling blackouts, as we have had in the past here in California, when things get really, really hot, and we're in this super big danger of heat wave, then or in wildfire specifically. That's what caused wildfires, a few wildfires a few years ago, over the years, is just power lines and the dry brush around power lines. That's part of why they don't want us using as much energy. But again, California, everybody's pointing this out about Texas. They had their power go down when it was super cold, and Ted Cruz flew to the Cancun. I'm going to go just check out Cancun, everybody. That's it. I'm just checking it out. But now Texas is going through some of the same stuff with air conditioners in this heat wave. California, might be a bit better, our energy grid, but not much, because we have a privatized grid as well through PG&E. I just think the argument is, hey, wouldn't it be nice if we had the state managing this? I mean, part of why PG&E caused a lot of these fires is they weren't maintaining areas around power lines. They weren't, clearing dry brush around their power lines. Oh, wow. So we have so listen to this. Let's see. What is this place called? Thermal, the appropriately named California town. There's a California town named Thermal. I learned something today. Town just south of Coachella and west of Joshua Tree National Park set a record for 118 degrees. Heyo, according to the Weather Service. Idlewild reached 96, breaking its 1961 record of 92 for this time of year. Big Bear set a new record at 88. Other records from Thursday include Lancaster, 111, Palmdale, 109, and Paso Robles today was 109 degrees. Okay, Paso Robles is not far from where I am. It's about a 50-minute drive. It's a nice place to spend some time, and it's already unbearably hot. Like, I'm from a more coastal area. There's a mountain range between Paso Robles and the coast. That's why even just that far, it's not far from the coast, but there's a mountain range in between. It's in the valley there, and holy cow, like I couldn't deal with that. I'm not built for this, folks. I'm not built for that. I don't think it takes much deductive reasoning to understand why. So there's a lot of forests are under red flag warnings. There are wildfires sprouting up. Fire season has begun. And another interesting story I saw was in the Post today, and this was how a heat dome is pushing extreme temperatures to new heights in the West. Look at these thermal maps of the United States. This is terrifying. I mean, once you get this dark red, you are well over 100 degrees. So you can see from the key here. So Las Vegas was hit hard. Death Valley was 128 degrees. 128 degrees. I mean, I know they call it Death Valley, but it wasn't always that hot. Phoenix was 118 yesterday at 6 p.m. So here in this article about this heat dome, the extreme and unforgiving heat wave in the West, which has set hundreds of records since Sunday, made history again on Thursday as temperatures surged to their highest levels yet. It is poised to maintain its grip on the sizzling Southwest through Saturday before slowly subsiding. The heat wave, like most, is the result of a sprawling zone of high pressure, popularly known as a heat dome. Common in summer, heat domes are often found over the Four Corners region of the Southwest United States, where intense heating occurs over deserts. However, the heat dome wreaking havoc across the western United States this week is striking for its incredible strength, geographic scope, and persistence. Evidence suggests human-caused climate change is making these heat domes more intense over time. So this is the reality that we're living with. Every year in California, we get to hear about how, it's a historically sized wildfire, right? This is now the largest wildfire we've ever seen. This has happened multiple years in a row, including back when I was at the newspaper. In 2018, we're reporting on the Thomas Fire, which then was the largest fire. And you also have multiple fires connecting to each other and creating these, they combine and by acreage, they just keep outpacing each other every year. We have record-breaking heat, right, in multiple locations across the West. This is what climate change is going to look like. They used to call it global warming for a reason. And of course, having a polar vortex in Texas earlier this year was a bit of a sign that it's not just heat that affects us. But this is going to be our reality. I don't know. Probably is for the rest of my lifetime that the planet's going to get increasingly hotter. Summers are going to get hotter and hotter and hotter, and more uncomfortable and more dangerous. Look at Paradise, California. The wildfire there killed people. It moved faster than you could outpace it if you were driving. In some cases, the fire was moving incredibly fast, tens of miles an hour, 60, 70 miles an hour in some cases. J. World, you're shiny because you're freshly bronzed. That is a bit of what's going on. It's been really hot and really sunny, so I am kind of bronzing up just a little bit. I'm not as pale and pasty as I usually am during the winter months. So let's see here. So this stuff is really concerning, especially when you consider all the people who live in areas. I'm lucky I live so close to the coast. The valley I live in, Santa Maria Valley, is a coastal valley. So a lot of cool air and fog pours into this valley along Guadalupe and, which is part of the Santa Maria Valley, but closer to the coast, and then more inland here. Let's see here. Look at some of these bullet points here. Palm Springs, California matched its highest temperature ever recorded Thursday, soaring to 123 degrees. 123 degrees in Palm Springs. That's insane. Death Valley hit 128. Highest temperature measured anywhere on the planet so far this year. Just 1 degree off its June record of 129, set on the 30th in 2013. Holy cow. Phoenix hit 118 degrees, a record for the date. Denver reached at least 100 degrees for the third straight day. That's Denver, Colorado. Tucson reached at least 110 degrees for 6th straight day. Las Vegas, low temperature of 90 degrees, was its warmest on record so early in the season. Holy cow. In Sacramento set a daily record of 109 degrees, and Omaha set a daily record of 105. So we have over 100 across the western United States. Absolutely insane. Let's see. Hey, Drew Rice is here in the comments. Hey, Drew, how you doing, buddy? Devoid Reality is here. Thank you for being here, Devoid Reality. How is it at the airports with this kind of heat? Commercial flights can't take off because they can't get any lift. This, of course, will affect all flights down the line. Wow, I did not know that. Thank you for illuminating me on that. I don't think it's that hot here. I've been hearing planes flying around today. Let me put it that way. Man, that is nuts. So, be careful, everybody. The older people in your life, keep an eye on them. Make sure that air conditioners are working, that you have backup generators. I mean, this can be deadly. People die every year just from heat, and I think those numbers